Welcome to Conversations in Music. I'm your host, Byrd, and I'm super excited to sit with our guest today. He's had a very unique journey navigating the music industry. Almost 20 years ago, his silky smooth vocals and charming smile won the hearts of millions of Americans and fans worldwide. Please welcome the Velvet Teddy Bear himself, American Idol winner, Mr. Ruben Studdard. Welcome to the conversation.
Well, first of all, how you doing?
I'm excellent, brother. I am excellent.
That's what's up, man. How have COVID been treating you?
It's different, man. As you know, Wes, you and I have probably been on the road probably about the same amount of time.
Yeah.
And it's just different being at home for this long.
Yeah.
I don't think that I have seen my couch or my bed this much in 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's good though. It's good because I am definitely getting a lot of things done that I kind of put off at the crib. But I definitely miss being on stage, brother.
Yeah. It's been the same for me, man. It's definitely been an adjustment. I know we got a lot of friends in common too, man. How are the fellas holding up? Just, it's different. I've talked to a lot of musicians on this platform, and it's usually a situation where they only got to worry about themselves. But I know you got a team of people, man, who depend on you, musicians, sound guys, just managers. You got a whole team of people that depend on you and your platform. So how has that been for you?
Man, it's different. Like I actually talked to one of my bus drivers the other day, and he's like driving trucks now for Walmart.
Yeah.
And which is a blessing, because they, of course, can do that. But it's a lot of people that are connected to what we do, like the show I've been doing, the Ruben Sings Luther show.
Mm-hmm.
The producer of the show, all the tech people that are on the road with us, the singers, the musicians, like we're all at home.
Yeah.
And it's a different vibe, but I think that there's also opportunity there for us to think outside the box, because it will open back up. You know what I mean? But I think there's opportunity for all of us to kind of like hone our skills, learn something new about ourselves, and also be even more prepared, when the time comes to be back on the road. Because I think that as musicians, especially those of us that are being blessed by God with this gift, we get a chance a lot of times to just like sit back on our talent as opposed to like really sharpening the sword.
Yeah, and pushing the exactly.
Right. So for me, like I've been, trying to stretch my voice, seeing what kind of different things I could do, and hopefully I'll be a better performer when I come back out.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you. Yeah, it's COVID is put a lot of us in a different scenario where we got to really reach back inside and tap in there, man, and see what all else is in there, talents and all that kind of stuff. So let's go back to the beginning. When did Ruben get introduced to, man, singing and understanding that was a gift that you had inside?
I was probably about 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think I sung my first solo when I was 5 at church, and I didn't know that it was good until like I got the response from the people at church.
Yeah.
And that for me was when I knew, like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing right, but whatever it is, I want to keep doing it because I like the praise. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And from there, I sang, pretty much my whole life. I didn't really get serious about music until I was like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
And
what shifted?
My band teacher, my middle school band teacher. And he had played for like Earth, Wind and Fire. Like he played for like a lot of like different, he gigged a lot. And he just kind of like stoked the fire in me for musicianship. That I only had like, a small kind of taste of it, you know, prior to being in middle school, because we didn't have band in my elementary school or choir. We was just all academic. So, you know, from the day I was in Mr. Smith's band room at Smith Middle School, like I knew that he could bring some. I felt like he was bringing something out of me, and even you know, still like it took another teacher to kind of help me with my stage fright, because I used to be like deathly afraid on stage.
Yeah.
So I had a cousin that sang also, and she was crazy good, but she was a performer. She used to we would do like BB and CC whining songs, and like I'll be just standing there, and she would be all over everywhere, and I would just be getting housed every day.
Right.
And it wasn't until I joined the theater program and the debate team at Smith Middle School is when I like opened up and started like really becoming who I am now.
Yeah. Yeah. And all this was in Birmingham, right?
Yeah.
But you wasn't born in Birmingham.
I was born in Frankfurt, Germany on a military installation. So my dad was in the Army, and then I came home when I was like 7 months old. So I don't know. I've been to Germany since because of the job that I do. But
yeah,
you know.
Okay. So did you travel around anymore? Has Birmingham just kind of been home place?
Yeah. I went a lot of places as a kid, but not like working. My mom just believed in like letting me have experiences. So you know, I went to my first Broadway play when I was like 7 or 8. I went to go see James Earl Jones in Fences.
Wow.
When I was like a youngin.
Yeah.
And,
so she just exposed you to a lot.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to the symphony. We would go. Like my mom's favorite thing was going to see Alvin Ailey dance troupe. Like she never missed them. So I saw them so many times. Just, you know, countless, anything that was like if it was a concert and I wanted to go, as long as it was like, you know, G-rated, I was able to go.
Right.
And even now, like doing the show that we're doing now, like the Ruben Sings Luther show, I remember my mom taking me to see him because she couldn't find a babysitter to keep me while, you know, so I went to see him when I was like 9 or 10.
Yeah. I recently saw that show, man. That's a great show, by the way.
Thank you.
And the home team put on a great show, man. What was that connection with you and Luther? What spoke to you, man, and made you want to come back and have a voice after what he's done?
Man, you know, to be perfectly honest, it was just timing, because everybody, I mean, I think for so long people have been comparing me to him that I was trying my best not to do a Luther show.
Yeah.
Even though like all the stars were always aligned for me to do it. Like this is not me doing this show was not the first time this show has been presented to me to do. So it's like I just, you know, I always just felt like I need to figure out who Ruben is before I can really delve into Luther. And once I got to a place in myself where I understood that the music is what it is. Like Frank Sinatra never really cared who sung a song first.
Yeah.
He's Frank.
Yeah.
You
And
know what I
hear
mean?
that and you feel that. Yeah, you hear and feel it.
Yeah, so like for me, I just had to get to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm not losing myself by doing this, by presenting this music. I'm actually gaining experience and a whole new fan base. Because what I understood is that there were people that were like literally like waiting for somebody to do his music.
Yeah.
Like I would have people come to the show and they would be in tears. Like I've been waiting on you to do this show. And I was like, you was waiting on me?
Yeah. I ain't gonna say you had me in tears, but you had me on the edge of my seat though. Right. I ain't gonna say you made me cry. That's, you know me. I'm too tough. I'm too tough for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Another thing, man, too, is you mentioned stage fright just a minute ago, but you have this way of connecting with your fans on stage, not just by singing, the stories you tell and the place, the comfort that you put them in. Where did that come from? Just over the career.
Man, listen, you know, when I first started doing concerts as myself,
Mm-hmm.
I think that, you know, you really have to learn how to be more than more than just a singer.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you go to a show and all you do is sit and listen to somebody sing, you're not really engaged with the fans.
Yeah.
And I didn't really understand that concept in the beginning of my career because, you know, I just wanted to sing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had worked so hard to get to a place where I can just sing.
Yeah.
That's really all I wanted to do. But
Yeah.
once I kind of got into the space where I was like, I need to entertain these people, and I was doing jazz shows,
Mm-hmm.
and we was just singing, we was just running through the tunes like run, run, like
Yeah.
like just running them the whole.
Yeah. Just have a set list and just play the set list.
But then you get to the end and your manager's like, hey, bro, you still got
I've been there.
You still got 15 minutes. Like,
yeah, and no more songs.
No more songs.
Yeah.
So I was forced to learn how to like really interact with the fans instead of just asking people like, hey, are you having a good time, everybody? Is everybody all right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure.
And that's really just exposure too, because like you really feel like, so a lot of the concerts I went to as a kid, like especially like the groups like New Edition and folks like that, like what I understand now is that it was three acts on the show. Yeah. So they didn't really have a lot of time to talk to the crowd when it's just they got 45 minutes to do all their songs or 25 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Dougie Fresh is coming on behind them, so they got to get off.
Right.
You know, but when it's just you got a whole hour.
You got to connect.
You got 95 minutes of just Ruben on stage.
Yeah. They're coming to see you.
Right.
Yeah. Did anything besides music ever catch your attention, or did you have any?
I played sports. You know, I played.
Okay.
I played from I was 6 to 13. I played baseball, and then 6 to 19, I played football. I went to college on. I didn't actually get a music scholarship to college. I got a football scholarship.
Okay.
So I went to Alabama A&M on a football scholarship, and I ended up switching my scholarship after my freshman year to music.
Ah.
So because I couldn't do both. Like I was a music major trying to play football, and it was just not.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah, it's a tough major to get through.
And you know, nobody really. This is why I started my foundation. To kind of walk kids through that process, because kids that are musical have absolutely no idea what the next level looks like.
Yeah.
You know, because you go to school thinking, oh, I'm about to be a music major.
Yeah.
Great. But if you went to a high school that didn't really focus on teaching you musicianship, you're going to be behind everybody.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, I thank God for my middle school and high school music teachers because I knew how to read music. But if I didn't, I would have been light years behind everybody else. Yeah. Like my first theory class was like the rudest awakening ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally like wanted to call my mom and be like, I don't know if I want to do this though.
Yeah. So, I mean, what did the football coaches say though, man, when you decided to switch? Like, you know, coming in, you're a big dude. They need them big bodies, man.
They had all the jokes, man. The jokes really didn't stop until I won American Idol. Because of course, you know, I mean, I went to HBCU, so we know we're super connected, and we're always at homecomings and stuff.
Yeah.
And before American Idol, they would be like, man, look, he big, he quit to sing in the choir.
Oh man, yeah.
I ended up deciding not to play after my year, I decided not to play, and I got a music scholarship. I got a vocal scholarship from Mr. Tucker, Dr. Tucker at A&M, and I remember him basically saying, like, because I remember asking, like, why didn't I make the concert choir my first semester at A&M? And he was like, I have seniors that will sing you under the table. You know, I can't believe this child.
Yeah, he gave you a hard time.
Well, I mean, but it definitely made me work harder because I didn't like to be left behind.
Yeah.
So when you see that bus pull off and you're not on it, but in your mind, like I know I can sing as good as these guys.
Yeah.
But so it just made me work harder, and those are the building blocks, for where I am right now. And also, I got to give a shout out to like Jamel Strong. Like I was in Jamel Strong and Message in college, and I remember how I saw him practice was like really at another, like Huntsville, a different place for like gospel music.
Oh yeah.
And so like people like Kevin Wooten and Eric and all those guys were really like, I looked up to them. You know what I mean? So they, I have to give them a shout out too, like as being part of the reason why, like I know what it takes to get there. And then, ended up, and maybe a year or so later, ended up meeting like John Jackson and, formulating a relationship with him. And, he, started being the MD for my gospel group.
Yeah. And I didn't know you had a gospel group.
Yeah, what
was the name of it?
God's Gift.
Ruben Studdard and God's Gift.
Not just God's Gift. Not Ruben.
It wasn't Ruben Studdard. Okay. That's probably why I didn't know.
And yeah, and then we had a couple of looks, but we ended up breaking up as most groups do.
Yeah.
And then after that, like directly after that, because Alvin Garrett actually played bass at God's Gift's first anniversary. So the band was John Jackson, Alvin, Romel, Sylvester Truss, Don. Like that was the band.
Yeah.
And the concert was crazy. And after that we broke up. And then Alvin subsequently like maybe like a year, maybe like a couple months later started Just a Few Cats, and I started singing with them. And the rest is really history, man. Like like after Just a Few Cats started jumping off, like I might have sung in the cast for like a year and a half. I was on the show.
Yeah. So what even made you, speaking of American Idol, what even made you go try out? Because American Idol, it was popular, but it was a new show at the time. And what even led you down that path?
So it was a girl in the band, one of the background singers. Her name was Sharita Duff.
Okay.
And Sharita was like, I want to audition for American Idol. We should go together. And that was it.
So it wasn't even your idea.
Yeah, no, not for real. Like, I mean, because I watched the first season. And here's the crazy thing. Like, I watched the first season. And then I auditioned for the second season. And then I went to, because I'm in a music fraternity called Phi Mu Alpha. So I went to the Drumline premiere. This is how long ago this was. I went to Drumline because all of my frat brothers from Clark and Morris Brown were all in the movie. So they got tickets. So they sent us some tickets. So we went to the Drumline premiere and I met Tamira Gray right after I auditioned for Idol. And I was like, yeah, I just made it to Hollywood. And she was like, man, you got so long to go. Nice.
Yeah.
But maybe a month after that Drumline premiere, I was in Hollywood and I was killing it.
There's a ribbon in the sky for our love.
And it was on to Hollywood.
I appreciate it.
And don't mess with me, Ruben.
So what was that process, man? Give us like what's a typical week of Idol that the behind the scenes people don't know, the preparation and everything you have to go through.
Let's just say if the week was West Byrd week.
Mm-hmm.
and all the contestants are singing songs written and produced by you.
Mm-hmm.
So Thursday, they decide it's West Byrd week,
Mm-hmm.
and then they bring in every bit of material they can find on you.
Mm-hmm.
And then they put us in a room and they say, all right, y'all listen to these CDs and figure out what y'all want to do.
Mm.
And then they snatch us all out of the room and say, okay, we got a Ford commercial this week, we got Coca-Cola, and we got Old Navy. We got to do all three of those this week. And every single week you had to do those, but they were the three big sponsors. So every week we had to do commercials for them.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to that, we had to go to vocal coaching and song preparation because the songs were on track then. They didn't have a live band.
Right.
So we had to go to the studio twice a week to sing our songs so they could make the track and then go back to make sure it was correct.
Mm.
So Thursday we got the songs. Friday we chose the songs. Friday, Saturday we taped commercials. Sunday we made final selections. Then Sunday night, Monday night, we went to the studio to make sure everything was right for the track. And then Tuesday morning, we would do a dry run of the show, like from top to bottom.
Yeah.
So like when you see the package, when people are like, you should vote for XYZ,
Mm-hmm.
that's already been taped the morning, Tuesday morning.
Right.
And then the night, because it's impossible for them to edit those packages.
Yeah.
Fast.
That quickly. Yeah.
Right. We have to have the same outfit on Tuesday morning that we have on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Wednesday is the elimination, and then it starts all over. And it gets even tougher when the group gets smaller because the work is the same.
Oh.
So, like,
wow.
When it was me, Clay, and Kim Locke,
Mm-hmm.
we had to do all that stuff that 12 of us.
Everybody was doing. Yeah. Wow.
And in addition to that, we all had to fly to our hometowns that week.
For what?
To do our like back welcome home packages. Because at that point, now it's like three of us, so now they don't know which one of us is going to make the finals. So they can't wait to bring you home to have that hometown parade when it's two of y'all. So they flew me, Kim, and Clay flew home for a day to shoot all of that stuff that you see.
What's up, y'all? By now, the whole country knows that Ruben Studdard grew up in the 205 area code, better known as Birmingham, Alabama.
I have been singing since I was about 3 years old.
No doubt in my man and in his man. He's always said, you're going to see my name in lights.
Doing that, we jumped back on a plane and flew back for the show Tuesday. Wednesday was elimination. And then Clay and I went into rehearsals for the finale with everybody. So then they flew everybody back.
Wow.
It's crazy.
It's a strenuous schedule. Yeah.
Telling people like when you want to audition for the show, like make sure you know it's not like it's work.
Yeah. Yeah. It ain't all fun that you see on TV.
Yeah, just go out. You have to go out there with a working attitude because if you don't, you out.
Yeah, yeah. So let's jump forward a little bit. Leading up to the finales, there's only two of you guys left. Coming down, everybody's voting, and your name is called Ruben Studdard.
After 24 million votes, the winner of American Idol 2003 is Ruben Studdard.
At that point, what are you feeling? It's real at this point.
I am really thankful. At the point that I won, I was just thankful that it was over with.
You're right. I believe you.
People ask me that all the time, and the truth of the matter is, I was just thankful at that moment. Like I thought in my mind, "Whew, I get to go home and go to sleep."
Yeah.
No. The very next day, I was on a plane to New York City. Like, I left LA at 5 o'clock in the morning the next day and flew to New York City.
To do what?
To do press.
So my next question, which is a very, very important question to me, and this is for aspiring singers, people who not only want to do American Idol thing, but just want to be in the business. How much control at that point did you have over your career?
At that point, none really. Part of a machine. So like I was a part of Fox. I was one of the biggest stars on Fox's #1 television show at the time.
Yeah.
And I had just so the 2 days before it was Kim, Clay, and Ruben, we had all just signed our deals. So now, like in addition to Fox, I'm now signed to RCA, Sony.
Yeah.
So, like I had to do a lot of stuff for everybody. It wasn't just like, and then like, of course, it's, and then, and then you have a single. So now like, that's the part of it when you're working for you.
Yeah.
Because you're promoting yourself. So like, you have to, do everything for Fox, everything for RCA. And then you have to make sure when they need you to because radio is for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, listen, I'm much better now because I'm older and wiser. But like they would sit us in a room with an earphone like you got on, or like one of those things that come up, and we would talk to 300 radio stations in a day.
Yeah. 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 Press and junkets. I've been down that road before.
And then you would leave there after you did your 300 and you go do a television show. And then you would come back and do another, because the show was worldwide. So we didn't have the luxury of just talking to the radio stations in America. Like we had to do European time, Asian time, all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And how old are you at this point?
I'm 25.
25 years old. When did it hit you that now I'm literally a world star? And like, what was that moment? What happened? Where were you? It just sunk in that, okay.
I was in New York City the first time after the show was over. Got in a cab. And the dude was like, "Where are you going?" And I gave him RCA's address. It was me and my management rep at the time. We were in the car together, and the dude turned around and was like, and then my song came on while we were in the cab.
Oh, wow. Just, yeah.
Like, that is you. That is you on the radio.
Yeah.
And this dude is not from the States at all. Like, and he knew. And then, like, the scariest moment was when we were in Minneapolis rehearsing for the Idol tour. This is how I knew. I was like, oh, this is crazy. Because but prior to this, we were all in like a bubble, like a security bubble. Like, really. And so we decided we wanted to go to the Mall of America to buy camcorders to tape our experience on tour. So it's the whole cast, all 12 of us together in the Mall of America. Of course, I'm the biggest one.
Right.
So when we get in the mall, we walk like halfway down the mall and somebody was like, "Ruben!"
Oh, man.
It was over with. And so
a flock of people, I'm sure, just
after that, nobody in the cast would go anywhere with me. Like, y'all go by yourself, man. Y'all.
Yeah. So in your personal life, man, after things become somewhat a norm, how does it affect your private life, man? What sacrifices did you have to make as a person, as Ruben, the guy that grew up in the choir and not that person? How did you have to make those sacrifices?
I think the biggest sacrifices are those that are made by your family members.
Oh, okay.
I mean, because like you can't have a quiet meal with your mom anymore. You know what I mean? Without, and I think they're all used to it now, but in the beginning, it used to be, kind of tough, to like have family time, like, take your grandmama to lunch or something like that without
Yeah. A
having
crowd.
right, because it's like at this point, like the people are who gave you your job.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, I would go out to lunch dinner with my mom. I have to like walk away and leave her at the table to take pictures for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
it. So you people don't understand, like when you get to a certain point, your family also has to sacrifice with you because they don't get to spend that kind of, unless you're at home, like going out.
Right. In private. Yeah. At this point in your career, man, you've been produced by Babyface. You've worked with David Foster. You've worked with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. What did you learn about yourself in the process of working with who we consider to be the greatest producers and writers in the world?
Man, listen, it wasn't until Babyface produced or co-produced my first single.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really have a lot of time with Cat. Because because it was like, you got to get in, you got to get out.
Yeah.
Me,
Yeah.
Babyface, and the Underdogs on Flying Without.
Mm-hmm.
But when I finally got to work with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, I was kind of spoiled.
Okay.
Because everybody had the process was like they send songs, you pick the song, if you like it, you go record it. If not, you pass over it.
Yeah.
And or like with the Underdogs, they made everything so like because they had so many people coming in the lab, like they made everything so seamless. But with like older producers like Jam and Lewis, it was like it's a vibe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like David Foster, it's a vibe.
Yeah.
So like in the beginning of my career, I would just be sitting there like, oh my God, like this takes so long. But that is the beauty of writing songs.
Yeah. The process.
And Uncle Terry Terry pulled me to the side and he was like, hey man, if you don't start to love the process, you ain't gonna be around for a long time.
Yeah.
And I kind of looked at him like, he was like, yeah, man, you gotta love the process. And after that, like I started just enjoying like being in the studio, like talking to producers, getting stories, learning each other, like because that way they can really know how to produce your voice.
Yeah.
They know
Yeah.
you. You know what
Your
I mean?
personality. Yeah.
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 That's how Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis got all that stuff with Janet, because they know her. Like, I mean, like, man, like she came in the studio when I was there many times, like with a dog on the couch, just like, because they friends.
Yeah.
So of course music is going to reflect that because they're friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Give us one story, man, of being in the studio with somebody. You pick anybody. It's just like memorable that the world don't know about, that changed their life or changed the scope of everything.
Man, I remember like a week after I won, Michael Jackson called me in my hotel room.
Ooh. Okay.
I hung up on him at first because I thought
wow.
And that was crazy.
What did he say? I mean, what was that conversation, man?
Congratulations.
And
I remember like waiting on, because when I first worked with Jam and Lewis, like I was waiting on Prince to come to the studio and he never showed up.
Yeah.
I remember like like my most memorable interactions with another singer has to be with Natalie Cole.
Okay, now we got to hear that, because she's a legend for sure.
Because my first Asian tour, like the first time, not my first, like I went to Asia for my albums, but I didn't tour. I just went to promote. But
Okay.
my Asian tour was with David Foster and her.
Okay.
And like just like sitting and listening to her, like because she has such great stories, man. Because you have to understand that she was Nat King Cole's daughter.
Yeah.
So everybody that was anybody in music was probably at their house. And not only that, she has a connection to Alabama because her father is from Montgomery.
That's right.
So
That's right.
like she has stories about coming to Montgomery and her like and her family making cornbread, and like it's just her stories about like Frank Sinatra and like people, it was Sammy Day. Like we sat on the plane and I would just like, tell me another story. And
you just want to hear them.
I just wanted to hear all the stories. Like, and she was so cool, man. She taught me a lot about how to travel. Like Natalie never allowed anybody to like, she had a certain standard and everything had to meet that standard when she was around.
Yeah.
And it kind of like, it helped me know like where to set my level of what needs to happen when I show up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was always super sweet and treated everybody with like the utmost respect. But when she hit that stage though, bro.
Yeah.
I remember her and I walking in Japan to like go to McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
And like we got like the Asian.
Wait. You went all the way to Japan to eat McDonald's, man?
Bruh, it's different over there.
That's true.
Asian McDonald's
That's true.
is like, I still don't understand why they don't bring the stuff from there over here. I'm sure you've been to Asian McDonald's.
No, I've never been to Asia. I've been to McDonald's in other places, but I've never been in Asia though.
Okay. They have a fried pineapple pie and a shrimp burger that's like the fillet of fish, but it's snapping on the fillet.
Okay, so that's different then. So I'm thinking Big Macs and quarter pound.
Oh no, I'm not. Yeah, I can eat that at home. Like why go? No,
that's what I'm saying. Okay.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, I get the stuff. You get the stuff that you can't get at home. Oh, and then David and I did their convention in Orlando. So me, David Foster, and Natalie Cole, and Andrea Puccelli did McDonald's International Convention in Orlando.
Wow. Okay.
So in the back of the ballroom is the world McDonald's. So everything they make all around the world, you can taste it.
Man.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
I've done some like and the relationship with David Foster has really like expand my performance horizons. Like he's taken me into some rooms that I probably wouldn't have got in just off being the American Idol.
Yeah. How did you guys connect?
Man, I did Muhammad Ali's fight night.
Wow.
In 2005. And David is always the MD for that, or was always. He produced it, and I killed. I killed that night.
Yeah.
He was like, "Hey, let me get your number. We need to go on the road. We do something together." And I never like thought about it. Like it was like, okay.
Yeah.
Because quiet is kept, I didn't really know who he was
I was about to ask you that. Didn't know the stature of
no,
what he had done
I didn't.
At that point.
Didn't.
Yeah.
And a month later, he started producing the Hitman tour. And I was on it.
Yeah. Wow, that fast.
It took a year for the show, but like a year for us to go. But he called a month later and was like, I'm getting ready to do my Hitman tour. Would you go on it? And because he couldn't get at that time, I think Michael Bublé was on tour. So I ended up having to sing all of Michael Bublé's songs.
Oh.
It was just like night and day from like being out on the R&B circuit.
Yeah.
Like it's different.
Yeah.
But because of my American Idol exposure, like I had, really, it's just night and day. Like it's really no comparison. And but I love it all though.
I'm interested, man. After Idol, you go from kind of a hometown guy who has some experience to this person. Did they connect you with like any business partners and kind of show you or guide you down certain paths of what to do with your money, like who to connect with? Where did you get that information from, man? From inspiring people?
Losing money.
Yeah.
Will show you will make you figure out how to keep money.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, like I I had somebody that I thought was the right person, and they're not.
Yeah.
So losing money helped me find the right people.
What you think can be done, man, to bridge that gap for people? Not just people on that level, but even entry level artists who's trying to come up and trying to figure out, what do I do business wise? They can't make that connection and bring that bridge together.
I think that it's just, at the end of the day, like, I think more people need to have discussions with their kids about how they run their finances.
It starts really, really young. I agree.
I had those conversations with my parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just work and pay bills. Like, I didn't know what that entailed. You know what I mean? So I think that that's the starting point. But also, when you want to get in this business, read all the books you can about the music business. Don't just like be inundated with the craft of singing or playing. Like, get as much information as you can about the music business, because it's business first.
Yeah. The creative side is a whole nother thing. I've talked to a couple people on this platform, man. Everybody said the same thing, the exact same thing. Where did the Velvet Teddy Bear? Who gave you that nickname, man?
Gladys Knight named me the Velvet Teddy Bear.
And what's her explanation behind that? Gladys Knight.
Give me one. She was just like, she just said it when she was a judge, and it stuck.
Oh, it was on the show.
Yeah, she was a guest judge on the show, and she was like, "You're like now America's Velvet Teddy Bear." And it stuck.
It stuck. Gotcha, man. Also, too, you went to LA, but you're now residing back in Birmingham, correct?
I am. Yeah, I live at home.
What made you stay home, man? Because everybody always say, man, you got to get to LA. You got to be in where it's happening. Why Birmingham?
Well, I lived in LA for the first 2 years. And it's good to have a place to go to work. Like, I wanted my home to be home and my work to be work.
I got you.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Now when I go to LA, I go with a purpose. Like, I go out there with things to do, because LA is expensive.
Yeah.
And it's like LA and New York are not the places to go and just be like up there hanging out for the sake of hanging. Like, you got to go with a purpose. Otherwise, you be to spend $30,000 in two weeks, and it ain't, it's nothing.
Yeah.
So I like coming home. I like being quiet at home. And then when I go out to LA and New York, I work.
Yeah. It's interesting, man. Interesting, because you also employ your band, and most of your team around you are Alabama natives too.
Yeah.
You didn't get. I know you've worked with them, but you didn't get the high-profile guys to go on the road with you. You mentioned John Jackson earlier, and all those guys. They still tour with you even to this day.
Absolutely, man. Because I wanted to have a family atmosphere on the road, and we've had people from other places roll with us, but it's just always worked out that the people from the crib are just, they feel it's a connection that we have to each other, because we all want each other to be the best. We all want each other to do well. So, when I look at like Eric Dubose now doing his thing with Patti LaBelle and just, killing it everywhere. Like, we all started as a crew, and to see look at Alvin Garrett, like doing his music thing and, having his songs writing for everybody. Like, we all started as a crew. Look at John working with Jam and Lewis and all that, and producing our songs. We all, at the end of the day, we're all family. You know what I mean? And so, like, when we all, like, I want everybody that comes to this team to, like, have aspirations to do something other than just sing with me, because it's always, I'm always going to be somebody younger that we can pull up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. What's next for you, man?
Man, listen, I've been working on a children's show with Terrence Baldwin called Uncle Ruben's House.
Yeah.
And we've been working on that for about a year. Of course, new music soon to come. So we're working on that. I'm trying to get John to just give me some hits, and maybe Wes could throw me a couple of tracks.
You say that now.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
All right. And then, you know, we getting ready to go back out when the pandemic is over. So that's what we are. And then, you know, we did, Ruben, Clay and I did we debuted our Broadway Christmas show last year.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully,
how was that?
It was amazing. It was amazing, and hopefully that will be on the road in the holiday season of 2021.
2021.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, where can people find you, bro?
I'm everywhere. I'm on Instagram, Real Ruben Studdard, Twitter, Ruben Studdard. I'm everywhere. Just my name. You know what I mean?
Look up Ruben Studdard. Last question, brother. At this point, with everything you've done, everything you've experienced, what conversation would you have with your younger self about life and everything that you've learned, man?
I would tell my younger self to not take experiences for granted.
Mm.
And I would also tell my younger self to really enjoy the moments. I know people say that all the time, but now, like the older that I am, I like to sit in moments.
Yeah, be present.
Be present, you know what I mean? Because if you're not present, like you'll miss it. And I know that now because I lost my brother 2 years ago, and like all the moments that I took for granted with him, when I wasn't present, I was just like doing stuff.
Yeah.
And so, you know, for me, like that's the biggest thing I could tell young people is just to be present, man. Like when you making music and you in the room with a producer, like really, you know, enjoy the time, talk to the guy, like, you know, learn who you're working with, learn like, you know, like don't, and, you know, interact, like, especially like the singers, like if they make it to the next level, like make sure you're going around the theaters and like introducing yourself to the people that's working, like the lighting people, the janitors.
Mm-hmm.
Like don't be like so big where you can't introduce yourself to somebody that's working, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For you
Making
to look
it happen.
good.
Yeah. Cool, man. That's great advice, bro. Anything else you want to add, man, before we got here?
Hey man, this platform is dope, man. Congratulations on everything you're doing, and like I appreciate you having me on, brother.
Definitely, man. Thank you for coming on, and we'll connect soon, man. We're
All
gonna
right,
make some hits.
Let's
You
do
said
it.
it first.
I said
All
it.
right,
I'm
bro.
with it.
All right, bro. Thank you, man.